Be wary of those poets and be careful where their gaze is, because sometimes where they look may be the subject for their phrases. Now, I'm no exception. I'm a lyrical magpie. I'm going to grab ideas from whatever I can spy. I write about romance and I write about love, about the earth below me and the sky above, the moon, the stars, the clouds and the sea, the sunrise or the sunset. It's all the same to me. Do all the flowers bloom at the start of spring? Well, I can write a poem about anything. I write about death and I write about birth and the ecological violence we've done to this earth. I write about injustices and poverty and about the rich excesses in society. I've got verses condemning the obscenities of wealth. I've written about sickness and I've written about health. Do butterflies float? Do honeybees sting? Well, I can write a poem about anything. I write about rebellion and I write about compliance. I write about the tensions between faith and science. I got verses about curses. I got lines that make you shiver. I got lines that are sometimes awkward to deliver. I write about obsessions and I write about perversion, those awkward events you don't include in conversation. Could Fred Astaire dance? Could Pavarotti sing? Well, I can write a poem about anything. My poems cover incidents and accidents and consequence. My poems have coincidence and diffidence and confidence. My poetry is humorous. My poetry is dark. My verses are ironic and sometimes full of snark. Hopefully my poetry will make you stop and think. It may not prick your conscience, but the truth is in the ink. We recognize each artist by the talents they can bring. And I can write a poem about anything. I write about pop culture and I cover propaganda. You'll find many famous characters embedded in my stanzas, from Lenin to Lennon and from Marilyn to Mao. There's no point being squeamish as I slay the sacred cow. From rock and roll music to the movie industry, from notorious criminals to the names from history. When you step into the shower, does the telephone ring? Well, I can write a poem about anything. No one's ever safe, no characters taboo. Stick around me long enough and I'll write about you too. Because everyone's a target, and if on you the spotlight stops, you may be the next subject of the stanzas that I drop. Good, bad, indifferent, everyone's fair game. If they fit into my poem, I'll be dropping their names. Just as certainly as Monica married Chandler Bing. Friends, I can write a poem about anything. I write lines about our history and previous events of battles and of struggles, attacking and defence, the Irish uprising, the American Depression, poems of contrition and poems of confession, the War of Independence and the Russian Revolution. If anything, we've learnt that war is never the solution. I haven't got a dollar, I've never owned a thing, but I can write a poem about anything. I got lines about falsehood, the losers and the winners. I got stanzas for the saintly and poems for the sinners. I write about triumph and I write about despair. I write about anything, if it'll keep you in your chair. I got poems for the lonely and poems for the crowd. My lines can make you humble or they can make you proud. You may suffer like a pauper, you may live like a king, but I can write a poem about anything. I write them while I'm laughing. I write them while I weep. I can even write the damn things while I'm drifting off to sleep. I can write them in the bathroom. I can write them on the stair. I can write them in the kitchen or just about any other where. When it gets into the blood, the infection quickly spreads till the rhymes and the rhythms are running round inside your head. You can ask me if I'm crazy, but I really couldn't care because it won't keep me from poetry. It always gets me there, just like fishes swim in water and birds fly in the wing. Yeah, I can write a poem about anything.